Sometimes I just wanna stay inside, I don't need nothing more. Sometimes I just wanna drink, feels right but I know it's wrong. Sometimes I just wanna see my...
There we go. All right, so which other, thank you guys once again for being here. I'm meeting people as where I'm talking. So once again, this is just to kick off our music month for June. We're super excited to have this, to start this brand new series. And what better way we can have it kicked off with no other than Mr. Andrew Floyd. But before we do that introduction, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Age. For those who may be new or already know, but those who may not know, my name is Aisha Lewis Redway. I am the creator and founder of GENEUS, where we support independent artists, and we are giving them a creative space to be able to do their thing. We want to be able to support their music, be able to promote their music. We want to be able to promote them as an artist, and showing their creative space, giving them a creative space. Artist write-ups, our blog, our music Fridays, and I cannot do it just by myself. So of course I have my amazing partner that works with me through this all. Danielle Meeks, you want to introduce
Hi
yourself?
guys. Hi, I am Danielle Meeks. I am the co-host. I am everything Aisha needs me to be. I'm her partner in crime. So I have like a great passion for music, and I think that's why we get along so well, because we like feed off each other and just like, we're both passionate about music and music education. So I'm super excited to be here and to have you guys learn and take in everything for tonight.
Yes, and of course, and last but not least, I cannot forget the newest to our team as well, Miss Whitney Charles. I'm not sure if she's camera ready, but I want to be able to introduce Whitney. Thank you so much for being a part of the team. She does manage all of our events, and she definitely was a big factor when it came to putting this, helping us put this series together. So thank you to my team, and thank you guys for being here. And let's really get into this. So first of all, let's talk about the man of the hour. So we have no other than Mr. Andrew Floyd, who has no other than 15 years of experience in working in, management and marketing and working with artists and influencers. He is the creator and the owner for UTG as well. He is amazing. I've been following his Instagram and social media platforms. And when I tell you, this man gives you nothing but knowledge, he gives you nothing but just, everything to help you get to the next level. So like I said, there was no other person that I can have to be able to kick this off. When I reached out, I was just so thrilled and so excited just to say, just to be glad that you say, I'm with it. I'm here. So Mr. Andrew Floyd, I won't hold you no other. Please tell us your story, and let's get this going.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. That was quite the intro. I'm not that cool. I'm pretty cool. I'm not that cool. She gassed me up a little bit. My name is Andrew Floyd, but my friends call me Floydie. So if you consider us friends after tonight, then you could call me Floydie. I am the founder and chief operating officer of Ultimate Talent Global Agency. We are a model and influencer agency. I had no experience as a model or as anybody who'd ever been in the modeling industry. My journey with UTG started when I was managing an artist, and she was a model at the time. So I got connected with one of the most notable photographers here in Orlando, and I learned a lot. And one day I was just with one of my homies. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna start a modeling agency." He was like, "I bet you won't." So I threw up a casting on Instagram, 60 people showed up, and I'm like, "Hey, all of y'all are signed." And that's how she was born, just about almost 8 years ago.
Love it. Oh my goodness. And I love the fact that you was able to do it. I want you to kind of go into your history in regards to just being able to get started and building this empire. Like, what did it take for you to be able to have that endurance? Because the past couple of, I guess since the pandemic, everybody has been going into this, hey, this thought of, I want to go into entrepreneurship. I want to be my own boss. And some think it's it's like super easy. So kind of give us that background and that the things you had to pursue and be able to build in order to get to where you are.
Right. Well, you mentioned perseverance. And I think that I got a lot of that growing up. My dad's William Barnum Floyd. He was a first round draft pick in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the 49ers, won a national championship with Florida State. And through all of that, all of his success, he always promoted or, instilled in me to be an individual. So when he didn't force me to play football, I went to school on a baseball scholarship. Really fell in love with music when I was about 10 years old, had started writing music at 10 years old, went to college. Um, you know, dabbled in some marijuana for the first time, got caught up in that, had to make a decision between my baseball career and becoming an artist. And I called my dad after, 14 years of playing baseball. And I was like, hey, Pops, I'm coming home. I'm gonna be a rapper. And he said, hey man, do what you do. I came home, I did my first headlining show. I sold 300 tickets. My second show, I opened up for J. Cole at one of the biggest venues here in Orlando. And through a 3 or 4 year span, I performed with Machine Gun Kelly, Tory Lanez, Meek Mill, Waka Flocka. Before social media, getting out there grinding, selling tickets for a 4 to 5, 6 minute slot. Being on Twitter, trying to meet up with people, selling them tickets, waking up, going to the barbershop, going to the mall, really having to get in people's face and not being able to hide behind the camera and go hustle. And that's what we did. So when it came to the business aspect of it, that was just already built in me from playing baseball growing up, from having the type of parents that I had, and then going through it as an artist myself.
What sparked that interest from you from going from being an artist to opening up your own brand agency?
Funny story. I wish I could say it was really inspirational. I just went through a life change. And I, was at a crossroad, and I kind of was uninspired to create music at the time, but I had met a young artist who was doing her thing. And we just kind of got together and we pushed her brand. And you want to talk about somebody being there from the ground up. And that's when I kind of got an idea like, wow, I can have an impact on music without having to be the artist. And one of my good friends, Gene Culver, always says, artists are like light bulbs, and light bulbs burn out. You want to be the power plant. So you want to be the person that's helping helping produce a ton of different acts, and then helping those artists once their time is up, because everybody has an expiration date. Once their time is up, how can we transition their brand into something else? Will Smith with acting, the highest paid actor ever. Ludacris into acting, or to whatever brand products or whatever that you want to sell, whatever that transitions to.
Okay.
Amazing. And then I definitely want to go into now let's go into the part where everybody's wanting to hear about working with artists and influencers in developing that brand. Talk about the criteria that you use to be able to select either those artists or those influencers, can't talk, tongue tied, to be able to do those collaborations, endorsements, and just be able to work with them in general. What is the key criteria for you?
Number one is just somebody who's hungry and who's coachable and willing to learn. And somebody who's flexible, especially when you're dealing with social media. Different platforms have different algorithms. Those algorithms change all the time. At this point in my career, like with where I am as a talent manager, where our company is, as an agency, I like to work with people that have already kind of got their own thing going on, and that just need a little bit of tweaking to get them to the next level. I'm not saying that I don't wouldn't be open to working with, people who were just starting out, but that's kind of what we're looking for. But I think that you can build those attributes really quickly, and that's just coming up with ways to market yourself. But before anything, brand comes first. So what I would suggest people doing is getting either my brand workbook or a brand workbook from online, and really writing out all the aspects of your brand and creating your brand identity, your brand voice, your tone, and then having an understanding like that's where your marketing plan is built from, so everything is cohesive. But when I'm looking, for people that I'm looking to work with, I'm looking for people that already have something going on, that are hungry, that are coachable.
Love it. Those who are hungry and those who are coachable, which means you have to be willing to listen and to be able to play by the rule book, right? I don't know much about sports, but I guess we're going to use some of those analogies.
Right.
How do you deal with like people who maybe don't want to kind of take like what the advice you may give and feel like they may know it all, or maybe they want to go in a different direction? How do you, deal with
How do
that?
we how do we deal with them? We don't.
Yeah.
Um, I get it. I get people are creatives. And everything I say is not gold. Everything that my team says is not gold. We're not always right. But there are certain situations where we're just not seeing eye to eye with talent, and there's somebody else that's better fit or better suited for their journey. And there's no hard feelings in that. We're not for everybody. Everybody's not for us. But I've learned once again, and my career, just when it doesn't mesh, it doesn't mesh, and that's okay. So we tend to not try to force it if it's not a situation where it feels right for everybody. Then we kind of just let it fizzle out.
Gotcha.
And in that plan, what, like, obviously with artists and now with social media, I don't want to go into social media. I know that's the next topic, but sometimes the audience is what's the problem, building, having that fan base. How important is, when you're working with your clients, that they need to have this following or this audience or this fan base? Because I feel like sometimes when it comes to the industry, we are missing incredible talent because the business wants us to have, or wants them to be, this triple threat with all of these crazy numbers.
Right. You know, Working with influencers has taught me that those numbers really don't mean much. Because we have software, any agency has a software that's going to tell us where your followers are from. If you're based in New York and all your followers are from the Philippines, then we know something's going on. We can tell bot followers and things like that. So I don't really when I say, I'm glad you were elaborating on this, because when I say got something going on, I don't mean that you're popping and that you got a ton of followers and you got everything polished up, but it means you pretty much have a good idea of what you're trying to do. You're taking your craft seriously, and you're trying your best. So the numbers really don't mean much to me. It's what's the community like? Do you have a ton of engagement? Are people commenting on your posts? Are people sharing your posts? Are people saving your posts? All those things mean that your content is resonating with people. And then to go a step further, are you interacting with the people that are interacting or engaging with you? I got to get on one of my influencers all the time. Like, yo, you need to comment on every single person, like a thoughtful comment. If they say something that, warrants a response, like a verbal response, you give them that. If it's emojis, you comment back with emojis, whatever, but just building that relationship with them. And then you just double your comments. If you got 40 comments and you respond to every comment, that's, you have 80 comments now. And Instagram rewards engagement. So building those super fans is super important. You don't have to have a million of them. If you do simple math, 1,000 fans, if you can get 1,000 people to spend $100 on you a year, that's $100,000. And that's $100 a year divided by 12. That's $8.30 a month. If you can convince 1,000 people to spend $8.30 a month, you made $100,000 off your music. So that's what matters. The community matters more than the numbers. We have influencers that have 150,000 followers that, get blown out of the water by people who have 10,000 followers because they have great communities. So that's what's the most important. The numbers aren't really that important, but it takes somebody like me or who has a mindset like me that's actually looking for that. Because you can get turned down for not having enough followers, especially when it comes to brand deals.
Okay. And I'm glad you actually brought up like with revenue. Like what are some innovative ways for artists to monetize their brands?
So I was just meeting with an artist that I'm just starting to manage now, Big Jada, and we were talking about even have you guys heard of Even, the DSP platform? It's like
Yes.
distribution.
Ah,
So basically they give you it, they put all your stuff on the major platforms, but they give you like the ability to sell things directly to your fans. So,
mhm.
without giving away too much game, just say, say you're dropping a single, and you got this extra single that you're not going to release or whatever the case may be. You can just throw that in there. Hey, you grab this single, you spend $50. I'm going to give you this extra single here, and I'm going to send you a t-shirt or a sign something or whatever, some sort of value, right, that you're providing them for being a super fan, and collecting revenue that way. So just selling extra things to your fans. Affiliate links are really good too if you have products, that clothing brands or whatever that you use that you really like. If you can't get a paid brand deal with them immediately, setting up an affiliate link, if you could sell some stuff, right, then you can go to the bargaining table and be like, yo, we sold 100 units last month. You need to pay me X amount of dollars um, for me to create this. And now you have your affiliate link money that you're making, and now you're also getting paid by that brand directly. If you could stack up on those, once again, we're talking about 1,000 fans. If you make 1,000, $5 off your fans' affiliate links every month, that's an additional $5,000 a month. So when you start breaking it down like that and looking at all the different avenues, like being an artist or an independent artist isn't like such a daunting thing anymore.
Gotcha. And speaking, since we're talking about digital service providers or DSPs, let's go right into that. I want to talk about, for those who are artists and songwriters and producers, those who are in that realm, how do you select the right DSPs? Because obviously there's a lot of talk when it comes to these DSPs and how they're paying out, and it's making it difficult for the indie artists to be seen and to be able to actually get any type of payment from them. How do you know which ones to select, or you advise your clients to select to say, hey, this is where you're going to get more bang for your buck at over here?
Right. The thing with the DSPs is they're always changing their payout structures. I know BMI just saw something where they're taking, I think, about 5% from artists.
Yeah.
That's always going to change. I think that people need to realize that these are companies that have to make money as well. And if you don't want them to have that percentage, don't use their platforms and create your own distribution, just like with the examples I just gave. Obviously, you want to use these major platforms to get the exposure, but I wouldn't bank too much on the money and from the streaming. That's just that's surface level, right? That's just to get the people to your brand. Then it's what do you have to sell after that? So I think it's just really preference. People have to do their own research. I don't really like to advise on that because if you get with somebody and you end up not liking them, I don't want to take, I don't want to take the L on that for you. But I mean, they all virtually do the same thing, except for, even I like how they have the ability to, once again, sell direct to the consumer. I'm sure there's other DSPs like that, but I think that it's just really preference based.
Okay. How do DSPs determine like the payout rates for artists, and what factors influence the rates?
I have no idea. I don't work for a DSP, but I think that once again, it's business.
Mhm.
What is every business asking? How can I increase my profits without pissing the least amount of people off? So I think that that's what it really comes down to. I mean, inflation, the economy's changing. There's all types of things, man. Like people have to understand that too. It's not just our industry that's being affected with these pay cuts and things like that. Once again, you just don't want to put all your eggs in the streaming basket. If you can just use those platforms to build your fan base and create those super fans, you can get them to pay for anything. You can get them to just send you money. You can be like, guys, I need $100. Here's my Cash App. See what it do. That's not really a great value proposition for them, but if you can provide, a good value, then I don't really think it matters, honestly. I don't think people should overthink that.
And so, and once again, going back to branding, now the criteria that you use to evaluate the performance, now that's something different. So what do you use to evaluate when it comes to the performance on a digital service provider?
Yeah, I mean, all of those DSPs, they have like an app analytics
Mhm.
You know, just using those. I mean, any kind of social platform you're going to have is going to give you the in-app analytics, and those are the things that you just need to study when you're just tracking the measurement of whatever campaign or the singles or whatever plays that you're getting, subscribers, etc. All that's right there on every platform that you're using. So, I mean, that's kind of what I lean on. You can use certain apps, like I have we have a software that kind of shows us like everybody's social media, every single social media on one page, so we can get an overview of it. But the more in-depth analytics, you will just get that from any of the platforms.
Wonderful. All right.
Okay.
So speaking of, now let's go into social media. So I want to talk about social media, because obviously social media is forever changing. Just like you said, these DSPs are changing, social media is forever changing. We're constantly getting new platforms where the algorithm is constantly changing, and monetization for the so platforms is also changing as well. What is your number one, your go-to strategy when it comes to speaking with your clients and using social media? Because I think that sometimes, some people will like, oh, I use social media, but I'm not consistent. But oh, I may put a reel or two here and do this and this, because obviously it doesn't align with their personal life. So what's your number one, what's your go-to strategy?
Well, I like to ask, what are your two major platforms? You're gonna kill yourself if you're trying to do every single platform. It just,
Right.
unless you have a team, would just say pick two. Maybe you have a third, but I think that that's where you keep it. And then, you know, to get that marketing strategy, to get to that point, you have to have that sit down where you're writing out your brand guidelines. Like, what is my brand? What do I stand for? Why should fans care about my music? There's so many artists, there's so many songs that are uploaded every day. Why should they care about me? Really figuring out those things first. And then, choosing your top three platforms to use, and then looking at each one of those platforms and seeing what type of content performs the best. Those things, all these things I'm telling you, these are Google searches away. Hey, or Chat GPT. Hey, give me the top KPI, key performance indicators on each platform. What are the best what are these platforms looking for as far as performance, right? Instagram right now, I think they want short 7-minute reels, surface level content. Description is where all the juice is, right? And then that's where I've had success recently, is doing the surface level hook, right? Getting people interested and then putting the information in the caption. And what's happening when you're reading that long caption? That video is just looping.
Playing it, playing it, playing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what does that tell Instagram? Okay, wow, this is something that people are interested in. So just little tips like that, but really having the idea of your branding, and then just choosing a couple platforms. Because you're an artist, you got music to make. You probably have a 9 to 5 or some kind of job, and you probably, it's likely that you might have a family. And oh wait, you might have a social life too. Oh, and then you got this going on, you got that going on. So just choosing a couple and really trying to hone in on a strategy for those.
And someone did mention, they commented, social media can be hard for somebody who's introverted. So what are some methods that you would like recommend for someone who's like not too much on social media, or they're maybe like too shy, and how they can grow their followers organically?
Mhm. I mean, there's a couple different routes you can go. I mean, there's a lot of faceless accounts that do extremely well.
Hmm.
It's just the way that you portray the content. Maybe it's not, I'm not sure, like the level of introverted. Like if you don't like being on camera at all, or if you just don't like to speak on camera. If it's just more so I don't like to speak on camera, get some content of your creative process. Use the AI voices that they have, This is me in the studio doing, you know what I'm saying? Use
Right.
those things. Um, and that's why those are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody on social media is an extroverted person. Not everybody is great at speaking. So use those extra tools that you have. And once again, just look at the high performing content and figure out how you can replicate that in your style, and you know you'll be fine. But I think that if you want to be an artist, there's gonna have to be some level of like, all right, I gotta kind of get over my
Yeah.
intro, right?
But I think like with that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, I think with that, sometimes with social media, a lot of things that we see that come up on our timeline is things for shock value.
Mm,
Like we'll
so
see a lot of
interesting.
videos, like pranking videos or like certain reaction videos that's just not something that the average person wouldn't do, And a lot of people try to get a reaction out of their audience or even certain things that just can be fake. So I know sometimes maybe that could be a reason why some people just aren't too social media-esque.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's the type of stuff that's coming up on your feed, then you're interacting with that
You're
content,
interacting with it.
telling the
Yeah.
Mhm.
platform that you want that content. If you're
Mhm.
seeking other content, like if you're not on there search like scrolling aimlessly, but you're on there looking, hey, independent artists, and going to that search and looking at what kind of content they're making, how many views does it have? Is it performing well? What are the comments like? Does it have a bunch of likes? Does it have a bunch of shares? You can see that, and then you can screenshot that or dive a little bit deeper and kind of do some thinking for yourself, like why is this performing well versus my content that I'm doing? And when you
Yeah.
start to think like that, then the world opens up. You're not putting extra pressure on yourself. You're just doing what somebody else has done with your spin on. That's what everybody's doing. Let's keep it a buck. That's what we're all
Right.
doing. All this stuff's been done. It just has to be done our way. So, I wouldn't be discouraged by that. But if you have that stuff popping up in your algorithm, that can only mean one thing. Or you got a
That's
group
just searching
chat.
for it.
Yeah, or you got a group chat with a bunch of friends, and that's the type of stuff that they're sending. So, you just got to choose what you're consuming, and that's what it's going to feed you.
Okay.
So I also want to add one in because I know that there has been a lot of talk with now for businesses and for those who do leverage off of social media, like influencers, there is going to be like package based for businesses. Like obviously, if you don't purchase these packages, then you're going to be at the bottom of the barrel. For anyone to be able to either see any of your content or listen to your music or whatever you may have that you're displaying on your social media. Now, do you believe that individuals still need to go through as a business and be able to purchase these packages and really work that way? Just like, for instance, how they had to buy the blue check mark after a while when it was either you just was in the business and you got verified, but now you had to purchase it for what, $15 a month or something like that.
Right. I mean, I think that was a great feature.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Against popular opinion, I guess a lot of people hated that. Oh, you just like the biggest crack. Oh, you bought your blue check. But the reality is nobody really knows. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
maybe your following can kind of give people a indication, but even before that, I knew people that just I knew people in real life that weren't really like that crazy that had it because it's a connection. You just never know. You never know who's paid for it before we get paid for it as the general consumer. We don't know who paid. I know people who paid thousands of dollars for that, like tens of
Wow.
thousands of dollars to get that to happen. So I don't think that was that bad of a feature. I think it's actually cool that you could verify who you are. Like right now with our agency, I feel like we've reached a new level because we have a guy texting models, thank God, that are signed to us, saying that he's from our agency, sending them our Instagram, like on some scammy stuff. So, I'm excited for us as a business to be able to have that so that people don't get scammed. Like you got to be careful with stuff like that. When it comes to, having to pay the packages for more exposure and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
once again, we forget that Instagram is a business.
Right.
And they need to get paid too. Like as much as we complain about the algorithm and how it's like not really, I'm sure you guys can feel it too. You're not, you don't, your audience isn't seeing your stuff. Um, and when you think about it, how could they? How could
Right.
Instagram show everybody your stuff? Because if you have 100,000 followers, or I don't know, a couple million followers, and say that's how many people watch the WNBA finals this year, I don't know. And they're charging, millions of dollars for ads, but you're getting millions of eyes on your content for free just because you have a million. They can't do that as a business. It just doesn't make business sense when they can charge millions of dollars for that. So that's why they limit it. What you need to be focused on as an artist, or as a creator, as an influencer, somebody who's building an audience, you need to get your audience off of the platform. You need to get emails, you need to get text, SMS numbers, you need to get them into a Discord group, you need to get them on Telegram, you need to get them on WhatsApp, you need to get them off those apps that are fueled by advertisement money, right? You got to get them to areas where they're not, where the apps aren't fueled by that. Like I said, WhatsApp, what else? Damn, I just said it. I have one too. Discord. Even though
Yes.
Discord, they can, you can pay for premium and things like that. But just owning your audience, I think, is the most important thing. And then
Yeah.
you won't have to worry about the algorithm changes as much because you can send out a weekly email that's reaching your audience every single time.
Okay. Can we get into like the negativity when it comes to social media? Like, so you have, say, like you have people who give negative feedbacks or just negative comments on certain things. How do you recommend someone, handle that?
Here's how I handle it. You got to have a super nonchalant phrase that you say every single time. So the thing that I say every single time,
Marion, unbothered.
right? What I say every single time, if somebody's hating, I'll say, thank you so much for your knowledge and expertise. What can they say to that? What can you say to that? And then what I just did was I gave myself an additional comment on my post. And then it'll start being a thing, like the Omar and Unbothered thing, right? It starts becoming a thing. So I would just say, have a phrase that you say and say it every single time, no matter what it is, no matter how bad it is. They could
So
literally,
somebody's like, your music sucks.
yo, what's so funny? Yo, thank you for your knowledge and expertise. Listen to this. This is a funny story. The other day, I had this dude, he said something like, oh, what are you listening to this clown, whatever, whatever. And I said, thank you for your knowledge and expertise. Bro spazzed. And you're gonna have this too, like literally comment on pictures of my family, talk crazy about my wife, like was just everything about me was cool. But when you get to that point, I gotta block, I gotta get you up out of here. I can't let you talk crazy. But you still have people like that, even when you respond in a nonchalant way like that. So just you're gonna get it, it's gonna happen. You can't delete every single comment. Just have something that you say every single time, and leave it at that. And you can
Yes.
also, one thing I really do see that's really good, um, you take the comment and you make like a real reply to it. And
Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask.
there's a young lady I follow. She's really good at it. She is, she's a heavy set girl, but like that's her thing, that's her brand, and people like talk about that constantly. And she'll take that. She has a song that's so beautiful. It's like I gotta find the link. I'm gonna send it to y'all. Y'all get it to everybody. But the words are like, I've never been. Oh God, I can't remember. It's really good. The way she plays on using the negative comments and the song together, it just makes so much sense. And the support that she gets from that is like perfect. So it almost like helps her in a way to get that. If you can find a way to turn those negative comments into like something positive, then you're gonna win every single time.
Before we go into our final topic, I do have a piggyback question after this because we see a lot on social media when artists and influencers or just people in general just use social media just to air out life. And when it comes to you working and advising your clients, like what is the limits that you advise them in regards to, hey, listen, if we're just going to use this to promote your music or promote your brand, or let just use it as that, what are your thoughts or your takes on just saying, you know what, besides your business and you're just using it for everything, and that can either go a good way or it can go a bad way. What are your take on it?
It just depends on your brand. I think that it's good for some people. I think that it doesn't work for other people. Once again, really think it depends on your brand, but you also want to show people that you're a human being. I think that's where people connect the most. Saying like, okay, damn, like that, actually this person's just like me. And that's why we really fall in love with like the people that we idolize, like, because we feel like a little part of them, like we can relate to them. So I show my family on my page, you know what I'm saying? I got the dad gang hat. That's a part of my life. Then I have the business aspect, I have the music aspect. You want to show all aspects of you, especially if you can package it into your brand. Um, so I don't, it just, once again, it just has to be tasteful. Your stories are a really great place to get personal. Um, your page is your portfolio. When people come to your page, it's like the first thing that they're looking at. Your stories, your highlights are where you can kind of get a little bit more personal. Because the people that are watching your stories are the people that follow you. And that's where you're going to really be able to build the deepest connections, is in your story. When people are DMing you and asking you questions, you're responding to them, you're taking time with them, and you're fostering like um, those meaningful connections. So I think that you want to show your human side, but you want to kind of save that for, if we're talking about Instagram, for your stories, or if you're doing YouTube long form content, like that's a good place for that too.
So like day in the lives are great.
Right.
Or like the
Right.
POVs and all that stuff, or get ready with me. Okay.
Exactly.
Good, good. So our last topic, obviously, I feel like is so important to me because Dale and Whitney, everybody hear me when I say we have to talk about AI when it comes to our culture, our
All the
community.
time.
It's so important. And we definitely wanted to add these in just for you to kind of talk about. So let's talk about how are you leveraging AI to enhance brands, marketing strategies, and engagement.
So for marketing strategies, I haven't really found one that like spits out like actual like a marketing strategy, but what you can use is ChatGPT. ChatGPT gets really good with great prompts, right? A lot of people don't know how to use great prompts. I do have some prompts. Follow me on Instagram and we can talk about how we can get you those that work for any niche. But yeah, it's funny because I kind of randomly, there's a tech conference here in Orlando. It's called F3F or F3 Festival. And it highlighted Black and brown people in the tech space, and primarily women. So I was able, blessed with the opportunity to go ahead and moderate some of those panels and things like that and host some of the panels. It was really cool. I learned a lot that I didn't know about AI and where it's going. But anyway, they book models for a fashion show. I ended up getting, plugged in. That's how my life worked. I just began plugged in into little situations. But it was really cool to like hear what they were talking about with AI. So with the marketing strategies, once again, I would say go more of like a chat GPT route using the right prompts. And then with customer engagement, I'm gonna give you all a little sauce. I use an app called Mini Chat. And what it does is it's like sets up automation. So when I am doing a giveaway, I'll say, comment brand below and I'll email you or I'll DM you the link. So you comment brand, ManyChat has an automation. It's automatically going to send you a DM. You're going to click the link that you need to click to get that free download, but you're going to have to give me your name and your email. So now I'm building my email list. You get something from me, I get something from you. Yep, Shoni, yeah, you notice people using that. And I bet you be clicking that link too, and you be giving them that email because you want the not, and it's, to me, I like it because it's an even exchange. It's like, bro, you know how many people get my email? Are you kidding me? I'm the free download king. I'm downloading it. You know what I'm saying? I got to see what it's about. So, just a great way to, the platform is Mini Chat. I might need to see if I can get a little referral code or something.
They got to sponsor you or something.
They got to.
We recording this, right? I gotta send them this snippet right here, Mini Chat. You know what I'm saying? Give me a couple thousand. But yeah, it's really cool. And that's just like a basic. There's so much that you could do with it. So another great platform, real quick. It's not really AI based, but I use Beacons. It's a website builder. It's a link in bio. And that's the platform I use for like all my digital products. Saying there's a referral link on that. But if you want to go on the page, go on the FloydieKnowsMusic.com, scroll to the bottom. You scroll to the bottom. It's a little link. It's a little link down there.
You said that's Beacons, right?
Beacons.ai.
AI.
But don't go there. You want to go to FloydieKnowsMusic.com.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta
Gotcha.
go to gotta
All right.
go to your link.
Listen, if you
all
got
the
the
way
link, drop it
Yeah, you gotta
in
put the
the
link
go
in.
chat.
ahead and
You
put it
gotta
in
put
there. I
the
guess I
link
could.
in.
Let me go ahead. Yeah, Floyd
Yeah,
knows
ChatGPT is like my favorite thing to use.
it's great. It's not gonna replace anybody's job like that, I don't think, because it's still still have to use it. One thing you still have to use it properly. One thing they kept saying at the conference that was cool was garbage in, garbage out. So if you have
Mm,
a garbage prompt and you put some BS in there, it's gonna give you some BS back. So it's not
Mhm.
like the know-it-all. Like it's really just searching the internet real quick, putting
Yeah.
it together real quick, and then you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. So um, it's not giving you like anything proprietary. It's stuff that's just kind of thrown together from whatever's in the database. But yeah, go to floydiosmusic.com. Also, real quick, I do have a Discord group there as well. You can sign up for. You know, you guys to give me that name and that email, baby. I needs that. And then it will automatically, because that's an automation as well. It'll automatically send
yes.
you an email with the download with the link. So you can get up in there. You can share your music. I got a ton of resources in there. Like Spotify, guideline, like a ton of stuff, bro. You just got to get in there. It's a lot of, I'll be putting so much, I don't even know. It's just stuff in there. Get up in there. And yeah, get in there.
All
How
right.
do you how do
AI.
you ensure like some of these like AI tools like they align with like your values and your ethics? Because sometimes people may be fearful from what they don't know when it comes to AI and technology. But how do you like ensure that to your clients?
It's a great question. It just depends on like what AI platform you use. I don't use a ton of like AI.
Mhm.
I mean, Chat GPT is the main thing, and you garbage in, garbage out. You're putting the stuff in. So if you get some garbage out or something that doesn't really align with what you kind of prompted that. So, um, you know, give everything a glance. I don't just put any stuff in the AI and copy and paste it or post it without reviewing it and just
Mm-hmm.
making sure that that's why it's important to have that brain guideline, right? Okay, you have whatever you got from ChatGPT, you got your brand guidelines right here. Does this line up? Yeah, great, cool, clear it. Does this not line up? No, cool. We gotta adjust this, or is this straight garbage, garbage in, garbage out? We gotta get rid of this. You gotta look at it. You still gotta be a human being. You can't be completely lazy and just throw it up there. So you just gotta review your stuff.
All
Okay.
right. I love it. First of all, thank you so much. That was our last topic. We wanted to, because I know the time is crunching, and we want to get into these audience questions, and we do have quite a few submissions, so we want to make sure that we get you and pick your brain as much as possible. But we want to say thank you so much
Yes.
for all of the wonderful tips that you did give. Let me tell you just a few I had to jot down. I don't know what the other ladies got, but I gotta be a power player, be coachable, be unbothered, be authentic and personable. And then also just, some of the other gems that you kind of talked about throughout the day. I hope y'all had got y'all pen and paper and y'all was writing or taking notes on your Apple, wherever you take them. All right. So the first question we have from one of my mentees, Brianna Good. I'm not sure if she's on here. I believe she is. What format or answers do you find best to understanding the client's brand strategy? So, I believe she's in photography. So she, just kind of go into just how are you, how do you find what works for the understanding of the client?
Discovery calls, right? You gotta ask the questions. That's sales 101. You don't want to sell your features, you want to sell their needs. So just, ask them the questions. If it's a photo shoot, hey, what kind of photo shoot are we doing? Okay, are we doing indoors, outdoors? Is it in the studio? Is it gonna be at nighttime? What time are we doing it at? What look are you going for? What color is that? Like asking those questions, and getting as much information as possible. And then doing your own research too. Like I just got a situation where I'm working with a pretty notable guy with his, social media campaign and his branding. Um, and wow, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, now I remember. I did all my research on him before I went into the interview. Like I
Mm,
looked him up. They didn't even have to I figured it out. I looked him up, did all my research. I looked at all his social media platforms. Obviously, I have access to software, so I ran it through the software, got all his analytics pulled up, and when I went in there, it was easy. So just reviewing those analytics and making sure that everything is on point.
All right. Thank you so much for that question, Brianna. Our next question comes from Eric Sean Smith, who is an amazing artist. His question is, any advice for aspiring songwriters who on how to break through the industry? And this is actually a two-part. What advice do you have for creatives who want to push their music, who has more of a introvert nature? Which I know you kind of touched a little bit on being an introvert as an artist.
Mhm. Well, to answer the first question, I'm not the sync expert at all, but I just spoke at a sync conference and I met a bunch of cool people in that space. I think that you just have to go to where those people are. You connect with them. There's like, I think there's some websites where you can kind of license it. You can just upload your stuff and license it too. That's an option. But you want to get in the room with people who have access to the briefs. Briefs are one pagers that labels send out and they say, hey, we're looking for these types of songs for our artists. So getting, access to those briefs or people who have access to those briefs and just putting yourself in the space for people who are doing what you want to do or doing it and you can just learn from them. So that's for the sync and the songwriting portion of that. As far as the introvert thing, once again, that's just like your brand. That own that. Can be a part of your brand. You can connect with a bunch of introverted people like that. Speaking on that, vulnerability, speaking on that, discomfort that you feel sometimes when you're put into, uh, the spotlight or uncomfortable situations and owning that and connecting with people on that, I think is pretty important. So you can either lean into that or you can try to become an extrovert, but I think it would be easier to lean into who you truly are.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a question from Brittany Hayward. She wants to know, what tips can you provide on building the perfect press kit or media deck?
I mean, it needs to align with your brand. Your color palette, you gotta have your logo on there. You want to make sure that all of your links are on there. Any information that's gonna give you the upper hand, right? All your major performance venues, major features, major media outlets and things that you've been on. You just want to include all that information in one page, 2 pages max, because you don't want they get whoever you're sending to this to gets a ton of these, right? You want to just be able to wow them immediately. Like me, I'm looking at, so we get submission. Like when I tell you our agency, the submissions are insane. Like it's really gotta like hit, like it's something has to catch our eye. So, that would be that's what you really need. You just need all your information that's easily accessible and something that catches somebody's eye and makes them want to learn more about you.
Okay.
All right. Whitney.
Yeah, so we have a question from Naya. I really like this question. The question is, what motivates you to show up for yourself?
Um,
And Anaya is an amazing artist too. So
yes, please follow me. I want to check out all your music. I want to put my Instagram here. Should I just put that and the handle?
yes.
Wait, did I just reply? Oh, my bad, wrong place. What inspires me to show up for myself? I don't think I show up for myself at all.
Mm.
I think that's what it looks like. I think I show up for other people a lot. And that's kind of my motivator. I got 3 kiddos, got a wife, showing up for them. And then, a lot of people that depend on me as far as what we built with UTG. But one thing that I like to ask myself when, in the morning when I don't want to get up and work out and kind of start the day off right, I say, what kind of father do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy that's going to make an excuse right now and not get up and go do what you need to do? Or do you want to be the guy that like your kid sees you getting up and doing what you got to do? So I think that's the kind of question that you got to ask yourself, and that you might not be a parent. So, what kind of man do I want to be remembered as? Kind of woman do I want to be remembered as? What kind of artist do I want to be known as or remembered as? And I think that asking yourself those questions and then reacting in the positive way, because you have two options there, is what really keeps you going. You're gonna have days that you don't want to do it. But the people that do it anyway, and they have the discipline, those are the people that get to where they want to be. So, that was a cool question.
Mhm.
I haven't really thought about that.
Mhm. It was. So I'm gonna say that tomorrow morning. What type of father do I want to be when I wake up tomorrow morning to get me out of bed and to work out and do all of that stuff?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jennifer wants to know, what is one piece of advice that you would give to an upcoming artist when it comes to social media marketing?
Once again, starting off with the branding. If you don't really have an idea of that, go look at people you like, right? Go look at people you admire and take aspects of what they're doing and kind of make it your own. But I just don't wing it. You don't have to wing it. And if you don't have, you really don't know what you're doing, you can pay somebody like me for a consultation. Um, and just being transparent. Right now, my rate's $75 an hour. And with that, you're getting 15 years of experience. You're getting a lot of failures. You're getting a lot of wins. You're getting somebody who runs one of the biggest agencies in Florida, one-on-one, right? The stuff that, you guys see on social media, all the surface level stuff, that's great. You can learn from that. But that one-on-one, like the value that we're able to provide tonight, having this one-on-one just for you about your brand, about what you're doing, about what your goals are, about where you're trying to go, that's what you got to do. Dude, I pay for conferences all the time. I pay for books all the time. I'm on Coursera. Got subscriptions out the ass when it comes to like my knowledge because it's so important. And that's what separates you from the next person. And then what separates you from the person that's next to you when that person getting knowledge too is who's implementing it. I think those are the two most important things is getting the knowledge and then implementing it.
Love that. And the next, we're gonna do three more questions from three individuals. Tamash
Cool.
Hill. This one, I feel like we can kind of combine these a little bit. In what ways can you build a bigger fan base and do it organically, especially when starting out?
Showcases, live performances at bars or birthdays or whatever. That's where you're gonna get the best interaction with people because on the internet, everybody's on there. But for instance, the other day, Jada, we did a pool party and fashion show, and Jada did a sound check, but it was like awkward because it was like during the middle of the day when their normal crowd is there, and there was kids and families. But she has a song that's like tasteful for everybody, and she performed it, and everybody wanted to take pictures with her, and nobody knew who she was before that, but wanted to take pictures with her, wanted to follow her, and became fans instantly that day because she was there, she was in their face, they could feel her energy. So I think that especially starting out, that's a great way to get yourself out of your shell is by going and doing live performances, and then transcending that into your social media, and then giving yourself an opportunity to compete by once again studying people who have content that's performing well and that are doing what you want to do and figuring out how you can emulate that for yourself.
And speaking of content, because there's another question I was saying here from Shawnee in regards to when you're preparing an artist, what is the best way you actually tell your clients to prepare for when it comes to photo shoots and things like that? Like what is some key pointers you provide?
Well, with photo shoots just depends on what kind of shoot you're doing, or you just get some content for the portfolio, or are you doing something artistic, or are you doing something that has a specific theme? I think that context matters. But you also just want to make sure that you're getting a ton of content to have on tuck as well. Um, Also, while you're doing a photo shoot, if you have a song, like it might make sense for you while you're all dolled up or dressed up to get some content of your song that you're promoting. And a really easy way, I don't know if you guys have been noticing a bunch of artists, what they're doing is they're going to 3 or 4 locations and they're having outfit changes. And they probably could do this in a day. And you go and you record the song in one location 3 times. You have 3 takes of that. You could do it on your phone. It doesn't have to be crazy. Get your homegirl, get your homeboy, go record it, move it around, make it cool. You record 3 times in one place, one outfit, 3 times in another place with 4 outfit, one outfit, and then you repeat that process. And by the end of the day, 4 locations, you've got 12 videos that are 3 minutes long each. And you can chop those up into 10-second clips, 12-second clips, 6-second clips, and you have content all freaking day. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to overthink it. It's not that serious. You can literally do that in a day and you can have content for months. So you just got to be strategic about that. And then when you're in your process, just recording that as well, because B-roll content, like with hooks, text hooks are performing extremely well. And I know that just from my personal experience. So just having that aesthetic look of you doing what the hell you're doing as an artist, and then having that text hook over there, on the screen is a great way to get people involved as well. So, those are just 2 different ways that I would prepare for. I know that was just kind of like for photo shoots, but just being prepared to create content in general.
Okay. And to wrap up, because we don't want to keep you any too much longer, Angela Hill, she has a question as far as how should she network within the music industry to build solid relationships, and even like what would be like your initial pitch if you're meeting somebody.
Um, Wait, so sorry, repeat that question.
So how should you network within the music industry to build solid relationships? And then also, how can you pitch yourself to someone?
Um, well, you just network by being there and not being afraid to talk to people. One thing we get wrong is trying to pitch ourselves. I think that we need to ask people about themselves first, and then figure out how you can be of service to them, first. Because once you do that, like everybody's, oh, how can I get a, you know what I'm saying? If you come, you stand out by
Right.
being like,
Put me on.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you come here and you're like, yo, hey, hey, I noticed that, you're carrying your own stuff when you came in today. Like next time, like if you need a hand, I can come here. I can be here early. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like figure out how you can be of service to somebody. Like we have people with our agency, like especially photographers that were starting out that came to us on that. And they don't outgrew us now. They doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And we're happy for them. We got a guy, one of our, first guys ever. He shot Pop Smoke's last album cover. Like he's at all the major festivals. And he came at us on some, let me shoot some stuff for free. And once he, came in and he proved himself and we put resources behind him, we put him in different positions because he came and he wanted to be of service first. So I think that when it comes down to networking, is figuring out how you can be of service to somebody. And that in so many different ways. So, that's your pitch is your EPK, right? Let me get your email. Let me send you my EPK. But also, what can I do for you on your next thing you got going on? Oh, you got an event coming up. How can I help with that? I think that that's important.
That's good.
All right. And once again, so guys, that's the end of our questions. I didn't see anything in the chat in regards to anything additionally. Floydie, thank you so much for coming through, for really talking with us, giving your knowledge, because like you said, he charges 75 an hour. Okay.
An
So
hour.
Right now, right
right
now.
now, right now,
Right now, price is
Okay.
gonna go up later. Catch them while you can.
Catch them while you can. Okay, catch them while you're outside. Okay. But we want to say thank you so much. Like I said, those key takeaways that I that was personally for me, it was like I said, just being a power player and being coachable and being unbothered and being personable, and also included doing your research and staying educating yourself. So I feel like no matter what age we get or how far, because I've been in this for over 14 years, and more, I still find myself educating myself. I still find myself, reading and looking up and researching and doing all sorts of things. So you never too good to still try to find out what's going on, because social media, music,
Always changing.
it's always changing. So
Exactly.
thank you so much. I just want to say I believe he already dropped his Instagram. He dropped his referral link as well. Guys, please tap into him. He's
All the way to the
amazing.
bottom. Scroll all the way to the bottom on the referral link. Yeah, guys, please
Yep.
follow me. DM me. I want to meet you. I got 20% off your first call if you're on this call. DM me, let me know that you are here. I would love to talk with you. And if you got some regular questions that I can answer in the DMs, I would love to do that as well. But don't be saying don't be writing me no novel. You start writing the novels, baby, you're gonna have to book that call. But yeah,
All
I
right. He said
enjoy.
keep it sweet and short. That's what he was saying. Keep
That's
it
it.
Right.
sweet and
Yes. Keep it
short.
short and sweet. If we got to hop on the call, you know you're in
Good.
great hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to connecting with you guys. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. I'm honored that you had me here.
Yes. Thank you.
And anytime I come back, I'd be more than happy to.
Yes.
Yes.
What was that quote that you said to people who may comment negatively on your stuff? What was that you said? You said, thank
When
you
you
for
put
your
it in
knowledge.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Mhm.
your knowledge and expertise.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you
Write
for
that
your
down.
knowledge and
Thank you
expertise.
for your
Right.
knowledge and expertise.
But
Okay.
if you
Start saying
use
that
that,
at
you
work.
gotta tag me. If
I
you
was like,
use
you might
it,
have
you
to
gotta
Right.
tag me. Yeah, if you use it, you gotta
Give
tag
where
me because I'm
credit
gonna
is
like it
due.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like I got your
Yeah.
back. So tag me.
Give where
Yeah.
credit is due. And I just want to say thank you to my team who was here. Whitney, Danielle, thank you so much for us putting this together. We're going to continue. We got other series that's coming up as well for this month, for the music month. Once again, Floydie, thank you so much for coming through. Guys, you already know if you're not following Genius, Genius R Us, please make sure that you are. And also to keep in the loop of what we have next. Our Indie Talk series is coming back up in August. We are getting ready to relaunch our Let's Run That Back podcast. So please make sure that you tap in with us. Guys, I just want to say, thank you once again for coming out and spending this hour with us. Of course, you already know, guys, and I know Whitney's going to get on to our slogan. You already know it's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. And let me tell you guys, it don't get no realer than this. So thank you once again. And guys, enjoy your night.
Sometimes I don't wanna think, sometimes I don't wanna talk, sometimes I just wanna stay